You know, the good Lord gave us two of everything, right? But one liver. And that liver is a detox component of our whole body. We got one liver. When it's filthy, boy, does it back up on us, right? So how do we detoxify the liver? Dr. Fred Pescatore is here all the way from New York just to discuss that, this organ. How do you detoxify it, right? He's going to discuss that. And then I'm going to introduce to many of you some new words. Diverticulitis, you know what that is? How about mycotic arthritis? Do you know what that is? Two brand new segments that I'll put together here for you. And then a couple of people are going to be talking about something that's so important, and it can be done when you're 85 years old, and that's exercise on the ground or in your chair. All that and more on Know the Cause. Know the Cause is brought to you today by remarkable, revolutionary Reg Active. My name is Doug Kaufman. For the past 40 years, I've dedicated my life and even my career to finding the root cause of disease. Join me in a team of physicians, pharmacists, and scientists, and soon you too will know the cause. Oh, you've got to love this guy. Dr. Fred Pescatore and I go back a whole lot of years. Folks, he looks the part. He's written a book called The A-List Diet. And when I tell you lose 15 pounds and look and feel younger in just 2 weeks, okay, let's take the camera over to Dr. Fred Pescatore. This is a guy who practices what he preaches. And today, what I want to talk about is there's so many. Look, I was reading an old book of yours about kids. You talk about a guy who was there
That was my
first.
first book.
It was?
Yeah, that's
When
my
did you
first
write
book.
that?
95, 96.
Okay, so in this book, I think Dr. Pescatore and I were the only two guys in the world talking about stay away from grains, even with kids, right? And so it must be rewarding to now see all of the new pediatric information coming out, talking about, okay, maybe withhold grains if they have itchy skin for a few weeks and see what happens. So it's gone from we're quacks to what
Completely.
a hero. I mean, he was here early. So thank you for what you do. Few doctors are writing today about specific bacterium, a commensal, that which is in the gut normally, that we need to replenish. And I notice in your new book, Runaway, I predict Runaway bestseller, like all of your others, because this book is amazing. You talk about probiotics.
Sure.
Everyone watching this show right now knows about antibiotics. Teach us a little bit about probiotics.
Well, probiotics are really what you need to help restore balance in the body. I mean, it really, if you're taking anything, if you're taking an antibiotic, if you're taking an oral contraceptive, if you're taking any steroid drugs, including the inhaled ones that people take all the time for breathing disorders and that sort of thing. If you're taking any sort of drug or eating too much sugar and grain, the standard American diet, which is pathetic, then you are going to need to take a probiotic. Because what I start off in the A-List Diet book is really talking about you've got to detoxify yourself from everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And then you've got to build yourself back up.
Yeah.
And the building yourself back up is where the probiotics come in. So I think probiotics are really for everyone. I mean, it's not something you take, oh, I have a stomach ache, I'll take a probiotic, or I have indigestion, I'll take a probiotic.
Used to be that way, right?
I know.
Used to be that way. Now,
So
folks,
true.
when he's talking about detoxifying, which is why I love this book, everybody needs to do this, he's talking about a liver. God gave us two of everything, right? But one liver. And everything goes through that liver. How do you detoxify a liver?
Oh, I mean, I can write an entire book about that.
I did.
But I mean, one of the main things to detoxify the liver, and that's why it plays such a prominent role in the book, is this nutritional supplement called Reg Active. And the active ingredient in Reg Active is a probiotic called ME3. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't take regular probiotics, but ME3 is a specific probiotic that works on something called, or helps the body to produce something called glutathione.
Okay.
And glutathione is the main antioxidant in our body. We need it for our liver. We need it for our liver to detoxify everything that we're taking in, all this pollution, all these chemicals that we touch every day. I mean, our liver is working 150% at all times, and we don't give it any support.
Yeah.
And that's where ME3 comes in, because Reg Active is Me3, which helps the body produce glutathione. And you can't get glutathione any other way. I used to have to give for years, and I still do. I give it to patients intravenously, so they come into my office and get it, because that's one of the only ways your body can get it. And there are a lot of other supplements out there claiming that you can get glutathione through different forms, then they're absorbable. Not absorbable, folks. It's absorbable because this probiotic makes your body produce glutathione.
Well, you answered a question I was going to ask you next, and let's go over that. Do I stop? This audience loves Dr. O'Hara's probiotics.
I'm so glad.
You talk about a bond and a loyalty, and me too. I mean, I take it a couple times a day. Do I stop taking that one? And you're saying
absolutely
no,
not.
Here and here. The Reg Active works entirely through the body. The probiotics really help tummy and all the systems that work off that.
Well, that's really what happens. I mean, the probiotic is one of those sort of foundational nutritional supplements that you need to be on. And Dr. O'Hara's clearly is my favorite one. So that's a foundational nutritional supplement. Another one that's added to my list has become Reg Active, which is Me3, which helps glutathione. We need glutathione. It's the primary antioxidant in the body. Without that, your liver will not help detoxify you from all the toxins that we put in it.
Can I take another minute with you and
Sure.
have you expound on something with me? I read recently that maybe a quarter of Americans suffer from neurotoxicity or neurodegenerative type diseases. Will a product like this help? Because we think we swallow it and it goes down here. But
Yeah,
the more
but it
I
goes
read
down
about-
here,
Right.
and it goes all through everywhere, from head to toe.
Okay.
And a product like Reg Active works on glutathione, or helps to produce glutathione, which is the antioxidant which suppresses oxidative stress.
Okay.
And that's why it can help in neurodegenerative diseases, or any degenerative disease at that.
Yeah, you have a leg up on everybody else because you practice medicine. You get to see, whereas people go out and talk about these products, you're seeing 20 patients a day that you put on them.
And I'm seeing what happens.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the before and after picture. So
Yeah.
that's what's so important to me, and is what's so exciting to me, because to be able to have people get glutathione every single day, you need glutathione, folks. Everybody needs to have glutathione in their bodies.
Yep.
The more, the better. And now we have a product that can do it. Reg Active's amazing.
And folks, when you start this, don't think tomorrow everything's going to change. Think 60 days and watch what happens. Dr.
Absolutely.
Pescatore, thank you so much. And
My pleasure.
Congratulations on the A-list.
Thank
diet.
you.
You bet. Hey folks, I worked with a dermatologist 31 years ago right here in Dallas, relocated my family from LA to Dallas to work with that group. There were 3 of them. What we all learned together was amazing. This was a time in my life when I thought fungus was causing a whole lot of problems. They're a skin clinic, and it wasn't just ringworm, which is it wasn't just seborrheic dermatitis, which is dandruff, right, caused by fungus. Guys wear baseball hats and they get out of the shower and they end up with dandruff. We learned a whole lot. And I'll never forget women with skin conditions. Their skin got so much better on the Kaufman diet and antifungals, many of them, not all of them, many of them. And then they'd report back to one of the doctors that several women had polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, right, where they grow cysts on their ovaries. Folks, I've been banging this drum for, 45 years. Fungi make lumps in your body. Fungi make lumps. I think cancer is sometimes, by the way, it's published, overdiagnosed, that they're suffering from a fungal lump, and the doctors are saying cancer. That's been documented. I think that colon polyps, nasal polyps, I think cysts on the ovary, cysts on the kidney, and in this case, diverticulum. These are sacs that shouldn't be there that grow in the intestine. Okay, let's study those for a minute. Okay, what is diverticulitis? Diverticular are small sacs that develop in the large intestine or the colon. These diverticulitis is a name given when an infection, inflammation sets up in these little sacs that shouldn't be there. Experts believe that since it's age-related, everyone will have it if they live to be 90 years old. Oh, great, there's something to live for. Antibiotics and diet therapies used to treat this condition. That's what they use. Most sufferers are male and most don't notice any symptoms. But the doctor goes in and he notices these sacs, these pouches. What made the sac? I'm so tired of us just treating what popped up in our body 6 to 8 hours at a time and not understanding the cause. You need to know the cause. So experts feel the cause of diverticulitis is a low fiber diet, so guess where they get the fiber, right? 6 to 11 servings daily of bread or grains. Oh my gosh. They're treating this condition with mycotoxins, fungal poisons, which are antibiotics, penicillin, etc. They're treating it with fungal mycotoxins and food that is impregnated with mycotoxins. Do you think that's going to help a patient with diverticulitis get better, sustain their symptoms, or sustain their disease, or get worse? No wonder we never address the cause of anything. Other recommended dietary measures include, but aren't limited to, whole wheat pasta, be still my heart, baked corn chips, cakes, cookies made with oatmeal, fruit, bean dip, and then this, diverticulitis and fungus. When antibiotics and a high-grain diet are recommended, you gotta think, folks, you gotta think, okay? When bowel disease exists, always think of diet first. Do you eat grains and sugar? Were you on lots of antibiotics as a child? Could those antibiotics have developed the pouches in the gut? Finally, this, our food supply is commonly contaminated with toxic fungal byproducts called mycotoxins, and most antibiotics are mycotoxins. I can't believe that's how they treat this disease. Ask your doctor if you can try a safe antifungal approach, like the Kaufman 1 diet and the drug nystatin. No side effects to this drug, but it gobbles up the yeast that may be developing those pouches in the intestine. I hope you learn from this, folks. This isn't saying don't go to a doctor. This is saying, gosh, can you talk to your doctor about maybe this isn't bacterial, maybe it's fungal. Oh, I was just doing these back stretches. Daniel's going to teach how to do that. And then Marty Whittakin, right? She's a certified clinical nutritionist, but do you know the way you stand up out of a chair makes all the difference on which muscles you exercise? So we're going to learn all that. And then the mycotic arthritis later in the show, I promise you.
Hi everybody, I'm Daniel Crouch from Guiltless Goodies. You have probably seen my beautiful, stunning, amazing, classy, and elegant wife, Lindsay, bringing you health food tips. Well, I'm gonna come from the other side of the coin here, and we're gonna be delivering some fitness tips. And you know, I was sitting down, writing out a bunch of stuff, and I had just been sitting for so long. I said, I need to get up, I need to move around a little bit. So actually, I got up and then I got back down on the floor. But let me show you a couple of lower back exercises that you can do that will immediately, I mean like snap, snap, take you to a new place, will move, you know, your lower back around, get some feel-good hormones flowing through again. So without further ado, let's get started. Shoulders low. Pinch that number 2 pencil that we always talk about and engage your buns. Kind of hold an imaginary credit card between your buns. Now we're gonna hop onto the floor. I'm gonna put my elbows on the ground like this. I'm pretending I'm holding like a $1,000 bill under each elbow. So I'm really engaging my upper body. My knees and feet are at a 90-degree angle. So not here, but here is preferential. I'm engaging my feet. And all I'm gonna do now, it's very simple, is we're just gonna rock back and forth. And then what you'll notice, oh man, that was real, by the way, that was not staged. It's a real movement, because what's happening is your lower back is stretching and rotating, and by doing this, by moving like this, you are allowing the feel-good hormones, the endorphins, which we all know means inner morphine. Who doesn't want legal, ethical morphine flowing through your body to flow? So we're just, again, focusing on driving our elbows in, having a strong chest and a strong core, focusing on, you know, intention in your legs, and we're just left and right. And after about 4 or 5, man, I immediately feel better. And so as I think to myself, like, what was the purpose of that? Well, I've mentally taken myself to a new place. So I've sort of left one chapter of doing some work, you know, making some lists, being creative, and now I'm gonna transition into something else, but now I have a clean slate, and I immediately feel better. My mood is lifted, so when I do go into that next task, I have a fresh, clean outlook. Enjoy this tip, lower back, keep your core strong, have an excellent day. We'll be coming at you with many more tips like this. Thanks a lot, guys.
Keeping the structure intact. How do we do that as we age? Sitting, of course, has become the new smoking. You know, doctors are saying move it or lose it. Marty Whittakin joins me right now. Not that she's aging. but she wanted to discuss this by using your own body weight. How can you bring up some really brilliant points in this. Things you can do at home, folks, in lieu of sitting, and she'll demonstrate some of these, that are really good at coordination and keeping the exterior intact. Marty, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here. I'd like to recommend people investigate seniors. I'm not sure that there's an age cutoff except maybe for insurance, but it's called Silver Sneakers. It's a senior fit program that works on balance and coordination, a range of motion, and being able to do things that if we aren't using it, we're going to lose that range of motion.
Is this online, senior?
Well, you can find out about it there,
Okay.
but a lot of insurance companies will pay for it, and it's run at any number of gyms and other facilities. And even if you have to pay for it, it's very modest charge, and it lasts an hour. It's a little bit of aerobic. You can start wherever you are. You can start by sitting down if you have to and gradually increase. But it does strength training and balance. And strength in the muscles you don't think about. When you think about if you want to preserve your muscle, you're thinking about, well, I have to, I have to have these guns, and no, there are little muscles in your back that help keep your head up. There are all your core muscles that keep you being able to walk without falling down and help with balance. And we have to start early. Let's not wait until we're nearly bedridden to do this, but it's never too late, but it's better to start early. One that's a very simple one, and it was called to my attention by Dr. Oz at one time, and he said, don't do this, which is you put your hands here and you use your arms to get up instead of, and I'm going to do that. So that's good for the arms. But what about these muscles? When these stop working, you're in trouble. So you should try to get up without using it. Okay. You should try to gradually get up from a lower and lower.
Or do that 6, 7 times, while you're, of course, watching Know the Cause.
Yeah.
That would be a good
Yeah,
good
you can
time
turn
to do
that into an aerobic session. And the other thing that's really important is balance. And we don't tend to stand around on one foot, but we should be able to. And if you can't do that, then you've lost not just the muscle, but the connection between your brain and the muscles because you haven't been talking to them. My left side is really stupid compared to my right side because I haven't been setting it in the instructions. I'm right-handed and right-footed, so I tend to just use my dominant side. And you have to kind of work on both sides because if you ever watched Funniest Home Videos, older people really make a spectacle of falling down because they're balanced. They can't quite call all of those muscles back in when they need them. But the range of motion and the posture, if you keep your head up, then your neck doesn't hurt. And even if you have to have somebody come to the house and show you what to do with light weights and bands, be doing something.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah. Because as a clinical nutritionist, Marty educates all her clients on eating properly. Exercise rarely gets. Then you got to go to an exercise physiologist. What was the name of that URL again?
It's Silver Sneakers.
Silver Sneakers. How apropos.
Yeah,
right?
there's no pill to substitute for movement.
Yeah, that's really Marty Whittakin. She hosts a radio show every Saturday morning. HealthyByNatureShow.com. HealthyByNatureShow.com. Love your books. Thank you for coming in and sharing your
Thank you for all that you do, Doug.
Thank you. We used to have this Dr. Gottschalk's patient in California, and he used to tell me his friend Arthur is just killing him. And I'd say, Arthur? He had allergies. A doctor was treating him for allergies. I finally figured out it was arthritis. Arthritis. So many people say arthritis, right? It's arthritis, joint, bone, ouch, pain, okay? I want to talk a little bit to you, those of you who got up this morning, the hip or the knee or the shoulder or the neck, folks, the hands. I'm so lucky at my old age to be able to do this. And there's a trick to it, and maybe I can help. I hope 20 of you watching right now will get relief from this. Let's talk a little bit about Arthur, okay? Are you sure you have Arthur? Are you sure you got arthritis? Mycotic arthritis, by the way, myco means fungus. Mycotic arthritis is a diagnosis that is made when and I underscore this, brilliant doctor has discovered the cause of your arthritis, and it's fungus. Fungus can spread from the bloodstream. This is more common in people with weakened immunity. I write that, although I don't agree with it, but it can affect anyone at any time. The whole mantra of physicians in understanding yeast and mold problems today is the word immunocompromised. So if you have AIDS or you're under chemotherapy for cancer or any number of conditions, you are more vulnerable to fungal growth. Folks, you're more vulnerable to anything if your immune system's on the ground. Remember, fungus itself drives down your immune system. Well documented. So we're all kind of hypoimmune. But the buzzword in medicine today, as they're still fighting fungus causing any problem, is immunocompromised. Well, Doug, you couldn't have a fungal problem. You couldn't have a yeast problem. Your immune system's fine. My word is immunocompetent. There are thousands, millions of people who have fungal conditions who are immunocompetent. Their immune system is working absolutely fine. But that fungus, remember, it got under your skin and then it got into your bloodstream. That's the way it travels. It likes your bloodstream and it'll go to a weak organ, maybe your eye, maybe your brain, maybe your shoulder, etc. And some people end up with sore from fibromyalgia just to localized arthritis, okay? Now, are you sure that that's arthritis? It might be fungus causing this condition. So how do I test for it? Your doctor, look, there are ways to test for this. It's extremely laborious, extremely expensive, extremely time-consuming. He can do what we call anti-antibody test to Candida, but there are hundreds of fungi that are pathogenic, disease-causing in men, so it'd probably be a waste of time. Why don't you do this? Talk to your doctor. I make that in bold for this reason. It's important. He has your chart. He knows your history. Ask if you can begin following my Kaufman 1 diet. Yours free. It's on my website, knowthecause.com. If so, carefully follow it for 30 days, okay? If noticeable relief on the diet, ask about beginning to tighter down or lowering doses or discontinuing your medications. I can't do that. You shouldn't do that. Only the doctor who put you on them can lower the dosage. Study safe supplements like caprylic acid, vitamin D, or resveratrol. There are hundreds of supplements that disturb fungi, and I like that, disturb fungi. And then gradually begin an exercise program. The best thing you can do is work these little buggers out of your bloodstream, out of your joints, okay? Begin an exercise program. If the Kaufman 1 diet is working for you, then that wasn't arthritis at all. That was a mycotic fungal infection. Just so you know that. So many of you will benefit from trying my diet for a month, but give it a good hard 1 month. So you see, folks, you can take your bacteria and have good health also. It's like having your cake and eating it too. Thank you so much, Dr. Fred Pescatore. These are the products he talked about. There's the liver, there's the immune system, and there's the ticker, the heart. The benefits of taking these products are immense. You know, just study them, and thank you for joining Dr. Pescatore and I today. What do you think about the diverticulitis? Isn't that fascinating? Or the mycotic arthritis, if it's due to a fungus, is it really arthritis at all? Thank you, Marty Whittakin. Thank you, Daniel, for being here. Most importantly, God bless you guys. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.